Welcome to Stuck in the Elevator podcast, Valentine's Day edition.
Yep.
You know, there are a lot of people out there that don't have Valentines. They don't
18
have.
years in the running.
They don't have anybody to tell them Happy Valentine's Day
Right.
and get that feeling of love.
Hmm.
So from me and my son and the Stuck in the Elevator podcast crew, I just want to say Happy Valentine's Day, ugly.
Happy Valentine's Day. And
you
you'll
get it?
find your queen soon.
Did you get it?
No.
I said Happy Valentine's Day, ugly. Because they're ugly. That's why they don't have a Valentine's Day.
It's fucked up. Hey, you don't talk to them like that.
No, I fucking thought you were going to really be all like, that's fucked up and laugh. Like, you
Oh,
didn't catch it.
Yeah, no, I didn't even catch on. So it's the time of love.
Love is in the air.
Love is in the air.
Mm-hmm. Got those butterflies in your stomach. Or you got the BGs because you had some fucking bad carne asada the night before. Who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows what your circumstance is? But this is the Valentine's episode, so it's gonna be very
Relationship based, I guess.
relationship based. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we start? Like, what do you think has changed in the dating game? Like, what have you noticed is like different in terms of like, well, because I don't know how.
The internet.
Well, yeah,
You
for
like
sure.
from online dating to Tinder to these apps.
Right.
Before my days, you liked a girl, you had to have the balls to go up and possibly get shot down in front of everybody.
Mm.
So like you're fucking scared. Like, man, I think she's hot. Hopefully she likes me. I catch her looking at me in class, whatever. We're at work, and you have to go up and be like, hey,
Right.
my name's so and so. How are you? And you try to think, and then you try to game plan before. You're like, okay, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say that, and it's
Right.
just like in a fight.
Right.
Everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the mouth. You have this game plan. You're gonna say anything. You go up and you're just like, hi, and they look at you, and then you're just like, and you walk away, and you just blew your fucking shot.
Right.
Or you fucking nail it. You're like, hey, how you doing? My name's so and so. You want to go see a movie, or like, hey, you're in my home economics class. What'd you think about so and so's homework last week? I don't know. You just try and spark up that conversation and the nerves in it. Where online now, you get shut down. It's like whatever, and you fucking delete them, and then you don't have to fucking worry about it. So it's like it's easier nowadays, but then you have that shit, the whole catfish thing.
Right.
That shit was like a craze where they had to make a TV show about it because people were fucking ugly as fuck or something.
Oh yeah. Biggest advice as somebody who's partook in the dating game: FaceTime. FaceTime. If they don't want to FaceTime you, something's up.
Yeah.
Call it a night.
Yeah.
Like, be like, hey, you want to FaceTime? They're like, I'm not really comfortable. It's like, well, you're gonna meet me anyways.
Sometimes people may see it as like they right away think the negative. And they're like, FaceTime, what? You want me to fucking show me your tits or something? Like,
Yeah.
Like, no, I just want to make sure you're you.
Yeah, you're real.
But they right away think like, whoa, like we're just talking.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But funny story. So this was way before your mom or whatever. So I'm from Long Beach, and one of the things that was hip back in the day that you would do is you'd cruise the boulevard. So there's a boulevard in Whittier, and you cruise it. It's just this long strip, and people would cruise it. That you get your fancy cars, you get like whatever, and you're bumping music, and you just cruise real slow up and down the street, and you make a U-turn, and go back and forth.
Oh wow.
And there's people walking it, and there's people cruising it. And then you're like with your boys, and you see a car full of girls, you're like, hey, what's up? Pull over, and you go over there, and you're just like, hey, let me get your number. And you try to collect numbers all night, So it's like a pickup spot. Like cruising the boulevard was picking up. And I remember one time I went to a concert with my mom and a couple of my cousins. And afterwards, they're like, hey, we're going to cruise the boulevard. And my mom really wanted me to have that experience, And she's like, I'm going to let you go with your cousins, and it was my female cousins. So we're cruising and shit, and I see my other cousin in a car full of girls with her friends, and I see this chick, and I'm like, man, she's hot, dude. You know,
Right.
she's good looking. So I'm like, but I puss out pretty much. I don't talk to her, nothing. Great night, we had fun, laughed, seen some fights. So, anyways, a few weeks later, I see my cousin, and I'm like, hey, your homegirl was in the front, da da da. And my cousin just starts laughing. She was like, you like so-and-so? And I'm like, I thought she was hot,
Right.
And I only seen her in the car. I just seen her face.
Right.
And this is kind of a fucked up story, but it's for this podcast. It's the truth. So she's like, fool, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, like, hook it up, dude. She's hot. And she's like, I have to go drop something off for her sister. Go with me. And I'm like, no, I'm not ready. And she's like, you're not going to have to talk to her. Just go with me so you can see her again. And I'm like,
oh, shit. So something's
okay.
up.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. I get there. We pull up. She comes out the door, and I first thing I see is her face. She's still really pretty. So I'm like, oh, cool. And she comes around the corner from around the car, and she's huge.
Oh.
Big girl.
Damn.
Like, big, but she just had one of those faces where it was like the face wasn't big.
Got
real pretty.
it.
And I was just like, oh. I went from looking out the window to... and my cousin's laughing. She was like, aren't you fucking glad? And I'm like, it's fucked up. It's shallow.
Right.
And I feel bad in the situation, but...
Everybody has their taste, dude.
Yeah. And
it
it
was
was
not
one of those
fucked up
things.
to have your taste.
Yeah. And it's like, I just remember being like, oh, fuck. Like, you don't know. And it should have been a red flag thinking retrospect, or however you say it nowadays. She was the only one that didn't get out of the car to talk to people. She always stood in the front seat. So in a way, she was catfishing herself. Like, she was doing that shit. Like, she didn't want you.
Right.
She was trying to get numbers off of just her looks, not the whole package, which it shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't. And I'm sorry for even telling the story, but it was,
Listen, let's throw the stigma out. Let's get rid of it. If I'm not into somebody has a bigger frame, that doesn't make me a fat shamer.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, this disgusting pig. I'm just like not attracted to that type of person. There's people who are into big girls. There's people who are not. There's people that are into tall girls, and there's people that are not. Like, people have taste.
It's almost like, well, this kind of sounds mean. I was going to say like a fetish. You have something that you like.
Right.
And it may seem weird to other people, but it's something you like.
Right.
Like, you see those TV shows where, like, they like to pretend they're babies.
Oh,
and have a woman like baby them and breastfeed them and stuff, but they're grown ass men. It's just shit that gets your jollies off.
Yeah,
it just happens.
It's just like your taste. Like there's some people that just don't understand the line. Like, this is fat shaming. We are like on like the left side. We're not fat shaming. We're not even close to it. We're just like, oh, I wasn't attracted to somebody of her frame.
It's the same thing with me. Like, I'm not a tall person.
Yeah.
But girls do that shit all the time where they're like, if you're not at least 6 foot, I'm not even considering you.
Right.
So it's the same thing, but with height.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, women can't be mad, like, oh, I can't believe you're saying that you want to date a girl because she's big. You will blatantly say, I'm not dating a guy unless he's at least 5'10", 5'11", or 6 foot, whatever the fuck your preference is. Right. And that's okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
most girls and guys can change their weight.
Yeah.
I can't not be fucking short.
Yeah.
You think that I wouldn't fucking travel around the earth 3 times to be 4 inches taller?
I'll fucking hang upside down 2 hours every night, hoping that it stretches me.
Yeah, like, you know the shit I would do to get taller if I could? That's more fucked up than being like, oh, I'm just not into girls like that. Like, they're that big,
Yeah, there's different things. Like, some people like girls with really long hair. Like, that's a thing. Or I like you having short hair. I like when you don't wear a lot of makeup. I like girls that wear a lot of makeup.
Right.
Perfume, the way they dress. There's so many different things that go into it. And we were kind of talking about this before the podcast. How people like make guys out to be the ones that, oh, we only think with our dicks or our heads. Like, we're just out for one thing. But you tell me the girl that sees a guy and goes, oh, I think he has a great personality. And not know. Like, girls are the same way. Like, you look and you're like, hey, he's attractive, he's good looking, or look, he's muscular, or look at that nice car he drives, he looks like he has his shit together, let me go talk to him. Like, it's always attraction first.
Right.
Whatever your preference is, it goes both ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just where guys don't look at girls and think, I think she's got a good head on her shoulders.
Yeah.
No, you think like, hey, she's fucking hot. Let me go talk to her.
Yeah.
And it's the same way for both.
Yeah. There's like no like. No, I'm not gonna say equality because that just sounds weird. There's just like no like equal like thinking. Like I get in a call, talk to girls, and they're like, oh, guys are fucking savages. They just want to fuck everybody, and it's like, oh, there's people like that for sure.
Yeah,
I feel like especially in people nowadays in high school, like from what I've seen, like that's like the case for a lot of people. But then I go to the guys. Guess what? They're saying the same shit. Girls are fucking whores.
Or she's
sluts.
a gold digger. She's only after money.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
the amount of cheating stories I've heard from both sides, it's like, all right, can we just like all just come to an agreement that like there's a lot of shitty fucking people in the world?
Yeah.
That it doesn't pertain to one gender.
No, it doesn't.
It's both.
Yeah, it's both.
It's a
100%.
It's a very, very, very clear cut 50-50.
So let me
especially right now.
Let me ask you, do you feel more comfortable in nowadays type of dating with the internet, or would you be okay to do it the old school way?
So it's
and why?
With my circumstance, definitely today, because I was raised like I didn't go to school, like I did for a good part like of my life, but then as soon as I got sick, I didn't go to school. So like those years not being able to socialize because I was sick, you know, like not having friends and not going out to places and shit like that, like it literally took a lot off of my like socializing. Like that gave me really bad social anxiety. So now when I go out, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm like really experienced with socializing.
Yeah.
So it's more easier for me to talk to a girl online and be like, hey, you know, get to know the person.
Build that relationship mentally.
Yeah. And then just kind of be like, all right, well, we're not dating. We're just friends right now, but let's see what it is in real life.
So, like, with your mom, like, I talked to her for 3 months before we actually met. Like, we talked on the phone, exchanged pictures, did the old school mail thing, just sending letters and pictures. Like, I didn't actually see her for the first time until 3 months later. You know, so, like...
Would you say it was easier? Meeting her, it was a little bit easier? For me, I feel like it would.
So, the thing with the online part where for me it was hard is what's that word, like I'm not if your mom ever listens to this, she's gonna be like, you're full of shit because I'm using the wrong word, but like I would, because I'm not affectionate, I'm not an affectionate person, but right. I like interaction, the emotion part of it, and when you have feelings for someone and you really really like them, you want to be around them. Right. And you want to interact with them, and a phone call isn't enough, you know, and you almost get into not depression, but like a sadness because you don't have that person that you love there in front of you to hug and be around. And even after when I first started dating mom and like taking her on dates and being around her, we lived like an hour and a half away from each other. So when it would be hard to see her. It'd be like every couple of weeks I'd drop her off at home. And as soon as I'm driving away, I'm instantly like, God, I miss her. I want to be around her again. And right. I don't know when's the next time I'm going to have money to go see her or time. And it's an ugly feeling being in love with someone and wanting to be around them all the time. And you can't. Right. Like, it's horrible. Right. You know, so it was hard for the longest time to not be around your mom as much as I wanted to be. You know?
Right. Do you feel like that paid off? Like, obviously it paid off, but like, do you think like it paid off because you guys like were giving each other like that space, like even though you were both eager, that you feel like you didn't get like fucking tired of each other because you had that break in between?
Yeah, that's the flip side to it, because every now and then you do need that. So like me and your mom have been married for 18 years, together for 19. So like we've been together for more than half each other's lives. Right. And you're gonna get on each other's nerves. You know, it happens. But like with my work, when I get sent away on business and I'm gone for a week, like when I come back, I miss her. I miss her the moment I leave. Instead of knowing that I'm gonna see her as soon as I get home from work, and then when I get home from work and I'm in a hotel room, I miss her. I miss you guys. You know, I'm just like, so it makes that moment that much more because you miss them.
Right. You grow complacent the more. Yeah. You see them. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. For sure. But yeah, so like to answer your question, yeah, I think I feel like in this era for sure, like back then, like if you put me now to back then, I wouldn't survive. Like I'm barely holding on now, but like I wouldn't survive in the back in the days. But if I grew up in that era, I'd be fine, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as what I prefer,
I think you're very adaptable, though. You say that you wouldn't be able to, but if you were to get forced into that now, let's say that something happens and internet and everything gets wiped out and we're forced to interact again, I think you'd be able to adapt. What you have is personality, and that's what you need.
right?
People that don't have personality and they're just very vanilla are the ones that struggle because they don't have anything to say. You have pizzazz, you have a personality, you have charisma, you know, and that's what people always say about me. Like when I interview, they're like, "You have charisma, like you come across a certain way," and I think you have that, and that's what attracts girls. Like it's not only it's the looks first, like we're talking about, but then when you start talking, you're like you have a charisma about you that people want to be around and people want to talk to you. So I think you'd easily adapt. Like what you're afraid of is the nerves,
Right.
which is with anything. You know, nobody likes that feeling of being scared or nervous. That's the worst part of it. But like I honestly feel you'd be like, oh, this wasn't that fucking bad.
It's kind of like with fighting.
Yeah.
The build up before you're like, all right, you guys ready to walk out? Like, here we go. This is it. And you're just kind of like, fuck, man, fuck. But as soon as you get in there, you're like, I'm fucking this guy up.
I'm good. You know, like I know what I'm doing. I know my training. I'm fine.
I think I just coined that to my figure it out personality. Like, I just kind of have that with everything where I'm just like, figure it out. I'll figure it out. Like, I'm a great improviser.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you probably get that from me because like
for sure.
There'll be situations in anything, and I'm just like, I almost get mad where I'm like, I'm not gonna let this beat me.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out a way.
Yeah.
And this is a stupid example, but it shows even in that, like when mom asked me to replace that sink, and I couldn't get that screw off. I started to strip it. I was like, I'm getting this off, and mom was like, it's okay. I'm just gonna pay someone to come do it. I'm gonna pay a plumber $200 to do it. I'm like, nah, fuck that. Right. And I went and bought a fucking drill, and I drilled that fucker off, you know? Yeah. But I'm like, I'm getting it off. I'm gonna do it.
And that's probably why we're so clever with shit.
Yeah.
You ever notice that where it's like, oh, I need this done, I need that done. We find a clever way to do it. Like, so more than likely, the intro to this podcast will be us, our fucking microphones falling. But if not, if I decide not to, our fucking microphones would not hold on to the hinges that hold it up. So my dad was like, you know what? I have a crazy idea. What if we just flip it?
Yeah.
There's the difference.
Yeah.
We have that adaptability. Like, we have that, like, chameleon blood.
Yeah.
In a sense. Like, we're good improvisers. Other people would be like, all right, whatever. We'll film another time. We'll order it online.
We'll order a new one.
We'll order a new one. We'll put it out. We'll put it out saying, like, oh, we'll come back next week. But, like, us, we're like, no, fuck that. We're going to figure it out.
Yeah, I literally like, looking at it, and I'm like, then I'm looking at the chair, and I'm like, the lid is what's fucking causing the problem. And I was like, what if I just put it upside down?
Yeah.
What if I fucked with it and I was like, hey, it's holding.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Watch me fuck it up right now.
Yeah, right. But that's a great compliment. I'll take it. I'll take the charisma. I just think it comes from being Vasquez, though.
I was just going to say that. You stole that from me. Because I was going to say, our whole family has charisma.
Yeah.
Like,
it's in our blood. Dude.
Everybody loves to be around us. Whenever we go to family gatherings, when we go to Ronnie's house or Uncle Junie's, and we have like 4th of July, and we're throwing off fucking fireworks, we're swimming, we're playing cornhole, we're playing domino, we're playing cards. Like, everybody just wants to be around us because we're laughing. Where we don't just sit there, we're just like, you know, we have fun, whether we're fucking clowning on each other,
right,
or we're talking sports, we're giving each other's opinions. We find funny ways to do things where everybody just wants to continue that conversation. It's so hard to leave when we're around each other. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Like yeah, definitely. I think when you look at it too, like that's why I love going to gatherings. Like, maybe I don't participate because with the social anxiety thing, I'm not really much of a socializer. But like, I just love like the atmosphere because everybody's getting along.
Yeah. Like,
everybody's having a good time. Like, nobody's arguing, nobody's fucking angry, especially at Junie's house.
Yeah.
Like, with Ronnie and all them, like, I can't remember the last time I'd seen those fools fight. Or argue, or get mad at each other, or whatever.
But
it always ends in a joke.
Yeah.
It always ends in a joke.
We'll be, like, on completely different sides of the yard. And all of a sudden, like, when Ronnie was talking shit about RJ that one time, and he was like, hey, fucking RJ over there playing lifeguard.
Yeah.
And we were like, wait, what? What happened? And we look and we see him and we're like, oh shit. Like, and we start laughing.
I forget what RJ said. They were playing cornhole and I think it was like a month after Pride Month, and he was like, "Did you enjoy your month last month?" Or some shit like that. It had me rolling, dude. It was so funny.
Yeah.
He said something like that where he was just like, Pride Month was last month. Did you enjoy your month about you or some shit like that? And it was so funny, dude. Those guys, like, I've obviously seen them get serious, talk about life problems, but when everybody's not in person though. Yeah. Like, I've not seen, like, I always bring up one story when everybody's like, what's your family like? I always bring up one story, and it was the only time that I've seen those fools get serious. And we were at, I believe, Ronnie's wedding. And we were all chilling, talking, whatever. Tell me if my memory's deceiving me, if I was literally just dreaming this, and I'll cut it out. But, like, I feel like I have a good fucking memory of this. You could probably put a better understanding. I might just tell the story wrong. But, like, from what I remember, we were all inside. And we were all in the corner chatting the bullshit. They split the families. Yeah. It was Ronnie's family, the Vasquez family on the left side, and then it was her family on the other side. And, like, there was nobody on her family on our side. There was nobody in our family on their side. It was literally just like, our family's here, your family's there. And we were all just chilling, whatever, talking. And somebody came in, and I guess word got around that there were two people fighting outside.
Oh, yeah.
You remember this?
Yeah.
And I always tell this story when everybody's like, what's your family like? Or whenever I'm talking about my family, I'm like, we are like fucking wolves, dude. Yeah. We don't give a shit. Like, we are dogs. Like, we are like hyenas. Like, we fuck with each other. Like, the people that are part of our crew are part of our crew. But if anybody fucks with us, we go crazy. Like, we don't give a fuck. So, like, word got around there was two people fighting outside. And I always say this. I could be wrong, but when I tell you that everybody that had the last name Vasquez ran outside, there was about fucking 60 of us in that room. Yeah. When I tell you that each and every single person, though, as soon as the word got around, like, oh, blah, 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 whispers, like, everybody went outside. Yeah. And when I tell you that soon after, everybody came back in, and you want to know why? Because the two people fighting outside, neither of them were in the family. Yeah. That's the type of family we have. Yeah. Is that an accurate depiction?
I remember that. Yeah.
That's the type of family we have.
I was one of the dumbasses that ran out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you were like, hey, just make sure everything's set in here. And he was like, we're going to go take care of shit. Yeah. Everybody went out.
I remember I was all suited up with my 3-piece suit and vest. I had to take my jacket off. I kept the vest on. I was like, I think I could move in this. All right, we're good. We'll be right back. Stay inside.
I was telling my friend the other day, too. I was just like, my family are like, they're super mean. Like, looking. Like, if you don't know them, you're like, oh, I gotta stay away from them. Like, they could, like, they just look like they'll either have attitude or they'll give me a hard time. Like, they look mean as fuck. But I'm like, but when you know them, they're the funniest people you'll ever meet. Yeah. And, like, that's our family's, like, kind of persona. Everybody's laughing. Our family has the most, like, stress-relieving smiles ever. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. They all look mean as shit, but as soon as they smile, it all leaves.
And we even attract people like that to be part of our families. Like, Javier. Yep. Javier looks like one of the most fucking... I don't want to ever interact with that guy ever. If you were to see him and you didn't know who he was,
you would be afraid in his presence.
And I love that guy to death. I talked to him the other day for like an hour and a half driving home from work. He called me and like he talks shit like the rest of us. Like we just attract the same kind of personalities. Yep. Like we're all ready to ride if we have to, but if not, we're gonna sit there and have a good time and crack jokes and have fun. It's just part of our aura, I guess you would say.
Meanest looking fucker ever, dude. Yeah. He's fully tatted up, big as shit, tall as shit, dresses hood as shit. But as soon as he smiles, you're like, oh, yeah, nice guy.
Now that he has the fucking comb over there, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I know he watches spooky. I know he watches a podcast, so he's gonna be talking shit. He's gonna comment on it.
Looks good, Javier.
Nice comb over, buddy. Yeah, it's your fucking Pee Wee Herman haircut. Pee Wee Herman.
You just stole my bike.
He's gonna hear this. He's gonna fucking call me, watch talking shit.
But like, that's our family, and like, I always be like, that's like my family. Like, we ride or die for each other. The fact that everybody in the family, not one or two people, like, oh, somebody go take care of this. Like, make sure you get help. Everybody was gonna go out there. I don't want to tell you I can't tell you what would have happened to that other person if he was fighting a Vasquez.
Yeah.
I can't say what would happen.
It's like when I think it was Derek's baby shower at the park, and Ronnie woke up early and was holding the spot. And those 3 black guys came over, and they started shit with them. And he called and he was like, "Hey, these fools are about to fucking jump me. You guys better get here." And I had you and Lizzie with me in the bug. Remember? And I parked in the parking lot, and I parked where you guys couldn't see. And I remember I looked back at you and I said, "Whatever you do not turn around and do not look at the park."
Yeah.
Because I knew, even with me there with Ronnie, we were still outnumbered.
Right.
So there was a chance we were going to...
You were to come back in fucked up.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't want my kids to see that. But I'm also not about to let Ronnie take on 3 dudes by himself. So I'm like, right. I'll take that ass whipping with them if I have to. Or hopefully we want here to quit or one of them and we got one-on-one after. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I remember I parked. I looked at you guys like, do not turn around. Stay in here. Don't move. And you guys were just like, all right. And I jumped out and I ran over there and I was ready to fucking go. And they had already left.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't you say after I told you guys that and the first thing you guys do is turn around and look?
I think so.
You and Lizzie?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so.
Watched us get beat up, imagine.
I can't wait to have Ronnie on again. We have to get Ron on individually though.
Yeah.
Because it like when we had all of them on, it's kind of hard to tell individual stories.
Yeah.
Because it's just like all of them, everybody doesn't want to just be there. And everybody's gonna throw their 2 cents in.
We want to tell the story when Ronnie took me out for my birthday. We were telling you afterwards, and we were laughing.
I literally was like, "Yo, give me like the summary of it. Like, leave the fucking details for the podcast. This would literally be the funniest story that's ever popped up on the podcast."
Yeah, we had so much fun. We have so many good memories.
Oh yeah, I wish I just had better socialization skills. To interact with them better. Like, obviously, I'm not going over that. It's a miserable experience. It's a fun time always, but
yeah,
those guys are the best. They're so funny.
Yeah.
I don't need to interact with them to literally just laugh my ass off all day.
Yeah, and with the shit they say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So to get back on the theme, so you live in now style of dating online, right? So let's say, knowing what you know now, you had to go in a time machine, which we've talked about in last season, and you go back into my times.
Right.
Right? So tell me your ideal Valentine's Day date. For Valentine's Day
date? Big arcade guy.
All right.
Arcades are cool. You got everything you need. You got a bunch of games, got hockey, little basketball hoops, you know.
You could win her a couple stuffed animals.
Right?
You know?
You could leave with some souvenirs.
This is for you.
Yeah. Yep. I think arcade, maybe.
Okay.
Think an arcade. You get, I'm sure, like, there's a lot of places that, like, sell little ice cream and shit like that. Like, I feel like an arcade's, like, a safe bet.
Yeah.
You know, for people, so, like, there isn't, well, I mean, there is a bad date, but, like, people always say, like, among, like, the most popular first date places, they always say that movies is the worst one.
Really?
Yeah. Because the idea is that at an arcade, at lunch, at dinner, at a picnic, you're communicating, you're talking, you're getting to know each other, you're filling each other out. When you're in a movie, you're just watching and experiencing a movie together, you're not really interacting.
Got it.
So I was like, I think I would argue for all my movie guys out there, for all the first date movie guys out there, I would argue that a movie is a good first date if you guys have already talked beforehand for a good while.
Yeah, dinner or something.
Right. And you talk about the movie afterwards.
I almost, like, back in the day, you would take a girl to the movies and you would pick out the movie that you least wanted to watch.
Mm.
And then you would use the opportunity to, like, you know, put your arm around them and then you start sneaking in the kiss and you make out, like, for 45 minutes. And you completely miss the movie, you know.
Right.
Feel a little booby, you know, and you're
feel
like,
a little booby.
You make out and you're groping a little bit, you know.
Yeah, right.
And you could give 2 fucks what the movie was. You know? Like,
That's
let's
funny.
watch fucking The Notebook. You don't give a fuck, you know. You're
Yeah,
like, you know?
you're like, fuck this movie, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Who's in that movie? Ryan Gosling?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Ryan.
But that's a good point.
Reynolds is better.
I never thought about that, like, because you don't get to interact in the movie. You're quiet. You're too busy focusing. You don't want to, you know. So
Right.
I get that. I've never thought of it like that.
Right.
It's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah. So, like, arcade for sure. You guys are laughing. I think friendly competition's always fun.
Yeah.
And you could get, like, a good grasp of the human being. Like, if you guys are playing and, like, somebody loses and they get fucking butthurt, That's how you know, like, okay, this isn't the right one.
Or if you're just like enjoying yourself and having fun, and you're being yourself, you're being a little dorky because you're having fun,
Right.
and the girl's just kind of like,
Right.
and you're like, you don't like
You're
who
not
I
the
am
one.
as a person, then hey, after this, I just got a phone call. I'm gonna take you home. Like,
Yep.
you ain't getting ice cream, bitch.
Yep.
You know?
Arcade is really fun. It's a good safe bet, and it's like a very, like, I feel like a very, like what you just implied, like a very good feeling out date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like at a lunch, at a date, at a picnic, girls could get away with being nasty. But like when you're forced to do like physical activities, like shooting a basketball or doing fucking ice or like air hockey or whatever,
Or miniature golf.
or miniature golf, like you're forced to like kind of interact and be involved. You know, you could see if the girl really cares about you based on how interactive she is and how like involved she is in the activities that you guys are doing.
And miniature golf's a good one because if the girl's playing dumb, like, and shooting all weird, like, oh, I can't do it, she's asking you to go over there and kind of come behind and hug her and put your hands on the thing.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get a little feel ski, you know. You just gotta be careful because when you're a young kid, like, you're at full salute really quick. You know? So you're like, oh, and you like push away, like, oh, I have my keys.
What's in your pocket?
I have my keys.
Yeah. So what was it for you? What was your like go to?
Was movies.
Got you.
You know, grabbing something to eat. Because I don't have social anxiety, but I do. I get awkward.
Right.
And I don't know what to say sometimes. I don't know what to do. So being able to go to a movie, it eliminates that opportunity to talk. Like, to your point, you want to interact and get to know them. So it was more to be, like I was saying earlier, I enjoy the affection. So it was like, it was my opportunity to hold hands and not talk and just enjoy the person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, share popcorn and get them a drink and feel special pain for their candy or something like that, you know. So
I have an interesting conversation. I have an interesting question. I have an opinion that a lot of girls get turned off when guys are very not pushy but like are very opinionated on what girls wear when they go out. And maybe this is just the product of where I grew up and just like the people that I know. But I feel like that's not a bad like ideology to have. Being like, hey, you know, like you're showing a lot of your tatas or your fucking pants are a little tight, you know, something like that. Not because it's like anything like weird, but it's mostly because like, cool, you want to show off, right? I feel like what a lot of girls say is they're like, I want people, like I want to be as good looking as I can with you so that people get jealous that like you're like, I'm yours, like, and you get to show me off type of thing.
Yeah.
I get that. But maybe it's just because where I grew up, but like more times than none, if somebody catches a peep, the likeliness of me fighting over you gets turned up a lot more.
Yeah.
If you're wearing very provocative shit.
And that's the same thing with me because, like we were talking about earlier, we're not the biggest people.
Right.
So people always swear that we're the easiest to punk.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd rather take an ass beating than run from a fight. So like.
And we also don't lose a lot of fights just in general.
Yeah. And so like I even tell like people like me and your mom, we've never been club people. We've gone to clubs, but it's like you wait 45 minutes in line and then you get in there and 20 minutes into being in there, you're still trying to order a drink and somebody's already hitting on your girl and you're just like, fuck, man, you know?
Yeah.
And he sees you there and he could care less because he just thinks you're a punk.
Or
and you're like, all right, well.
And he's not thinking right.
Yeah, and you're like, I just waited 45 minutes in line and now I'm about to get kicked out because I'm going to put hands on this guy.
Right.
You know, so like, what did I really come here for?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't danced. I fucking still waiting in line to buy my drink.
Right.
And now I'm about to get kicked out.
Yeah.
You know, so it's fucking annoying.
Yeah, it's the same shit. Like, I want my girl to be modest because I don't want some dude to be like, hey, nice tits. Hey, nice ass. And then I'm like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
Yeah.
Like, you see me holding her hand, like, what? Say it over here, bitch. Like, I'm gonna fight somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let anybody say that about my person.
Yeah.
So, like, them dressing modestly just would make someone like me more comfortable knowing that the likeliness of me having to beat the fucking dog piss out of someone or take an ass whooping in your fucking honor gets jotted down just a little bit. I think that's a reasonable thing. I think guys that are advocates for that, like, they lose arguments and they look stupid because they don't know exactly why they don't like it. They just know that they don't like it, and that's the reason.
Yeah.
For me personally, at least. Like, if guys are fucking weird, bro. Guys are confident, and especially, like you said, when they look at us, they're like, "Oh, this dude's 5'4". This guy's 5'5". Like, I'm 5'8". Guys. Oh, I loved beating the shit out of guys that were taller than me. Yeah. I loved it because the look on their face, the confidence that they had right before I fucking took it from them, like, is the greatest thing ever. Because guys that are tall or guys that threaten you, the first thing that they go to is, "I'll beat your ass. I'm 6'4". But for me and you, height never mattered. Me and you were wrestlers. How much is your fucking height gonna matter when I double leg you and you're on your fucking ass?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, how's that reach gonna do for you then?
We've both trained in collegiate wrestling. I trained in Greco-Roman and freestyle. And we both trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu where the small guy is meant to beat the big guy.
Yep.
You know, we're good at using leverage. We're good at using our size.
Mm-hmm.
So size has never been a problem for us.
Nope.
You know, and then when you're in a street fight, I used to hate that shit when, like, people would be throwing hands and they're like, stand him back up. Like, don't be fucking hitting him on the ground. This ain't a boxing match, bitch. Like, we're fighting on the streets. If I take your ass down and I'm dropping elbows on your face, it is what it is. It's a fucking fight.
Yeah.
I didn't say, like, hey, let's have a boxing match, guys. No, like, we're fucking fighting.
Yeah.
If there's a brick right here, I'm going to hit you with that fucking brick.
Yeah.
I'm going to get this trash can. I'm going to throw it over your fucking head, you know? Like,
yeah, guys are confident, dude. Especially when they're, like, average height. It's like, okay, dude, you see me holding her hand. I get that I'm short, but, like, all I need is to kick you in the leg once where you've never been kicked before. And you're fucking face first on the floor.
Yep. Hit that nerve behind the knee or...
double leg you. It's not that hard. Am I saying that, like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of anybody and everybody? No. But I like my chances.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm gonna do it.
Like, not trying to call my brother out, but we were just talking about this the other day. Fu, like we said, we talk about him. He's 10 years younger than me, but he's bigger than me. He's 5'10" and a half, 5'11".
Yeah.
You know, he outweighs me by a good $150, maybe. You know, he's bigger than me, and he always tries to try me, but because of my training, he just can't. Like, he can't beat me, and it always turns into a funny thing. You know, I end up choking him out or doing something.
Right.
Because we're trained.
Right.
We're trained to be in shitty situations, and come out on top of it.
We were, like, trained to fucking slay the giant.
Yeah.
Like that. We're fucking taught to be lumberjacks in wrestling. Like, chop the tree down, dude.
Yep.
So.
Back to relationships, though.
Back to relationships.
So we got our dates in. We picked our dates. What's your ideal chick then? This is only for you, because if I say anything, Mom will fucking kill me.
I'm like, what's your ideal chick, Dad? He's like, well, Mexican. No,
Yeah.
It's just something just, like, unrelated. I could give you a layup, and I could just be like, hey, what's your taste, Dad? You're like, oh, you know, a white woman with blonde hair.
Yeah. Her name has to be Ashley.
That's a no-go.
Okay, what are traits you want them to have? Like, obviously caring, you know, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I feel like the easy answer for the first question is just the girls that I'm talking to now, like, are easily, like, my type. So I could just, like, put up or, like, just nod to their attributes. I'm somebody who, like, live or dies by the smile.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but, like, if you don't have a good smile, like, that kills it for me. Like, I live or die by the smile. You have a really good smile, I don't care if your fucking nose is gigantic. Your smile's gonna take away from everything else. That's for me, right?
Your nose is gigantic.
I don't give a fuck if you have a Gru nose.
What the
If
fuck?
your smile is killer, dude, like, it takes away from everything. For me. You know? So big smile guy.
Yeah.
Girls I'm talking to now got great smiles. Another thing, like my girl short.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like my girl short. There's guys, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the way I was growing up. Got a little toxic masculinity in me. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be honest. There's still a little bit in me, just a tad. The toxic masculinity in me wouldn't be willing to date girls taller than me. Fucking nods to Tom Holland. Love to fucking Jacksepticeye. Both of them are with women that are taller than them. Good for them. Both of their women are gorgeous. Glad you guys have the confidence to do that. I don't. And I don't know what it is. I just don't have the confidence to date somebody taller than me. I don't know if it's confidence, but I just like... I don't romanticize the idea of kissing up at somebody.
Okay, so what if it's your dream girl? Like, whoever you think is the hottest chick out there, celebrity or whatever. She's like, you're hot, I want to be with you, but she's fucking a whole head taller than you. You gonna say no?
No. Definitely not. Like, there's definitely... You know my favorite... one of my favorite bits from... God, what's his name? He's the guy... fucking Friday... What's that actor's name? Or that...
Mike Williams?
Mike Williams. No.
Cat Williams.
Cat Williams, yep.
Mike Williams
He
plays
has...
for the Chargers.
Cat Williams has this bit where he not a bit, but he had this joke on Conan that had me fucking rolling, where he was like, yeah, because like Conan like asked him a question about like, you know, like how does it feel, because you know you're short but you still pull women, like what is it like in the dating game? And he was like, you know, I dated an NBA or an NBA player before, like I don't got a problem with that. Pick me up, mama. Like it's just like one of those things where you're just like, you fucking fool. I forget what he said, but he said something that had me roll, and something about just like being babied or whatever. He's like getting cradled or some shit. It was funny. But
breastfed.
I'm just not that kind of person. Like I don't romanticize the idea of kissing up at somebody. But like in that instance, if it's like dream girl, like fucking, you know, Olivia Rodrigo, I'll make that sacrifice. I don't give a shit. Like I'm cool with that.
So how about this? So you know. You said you have the social anxiety. You know what that's like. There's a girl out there that has the same thing, regardless of what she looks like. What kind of advice would you give her to help her get over that and get into the dating game and find true love?
It's kind of just like the nothing matters mentality, where it's like, okay, if like somebody isn't right for you, or if somebody isn't picking up your vibe, yeah, don't force it, obviously. Because then you're just making the situation more awkward than it should be. But like, just be yourself, and if it's just like not the right person, then just what does it matter? Yeah. Like there's literally 8 billion people, and you react like as if everybody watched you just like have a bad time experience. That bad experience is between you and that person. Everybody else is minding their own business. If you're like at a mall or you're at a dinner or something, like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, don't be fake, be yourself.
Right.
If they like you for you, then that's what makes them the one.
And also, don't play hard to get.
Yeah, I've never liked that.
It's not that like I don't want to try so hard. It's just that like, if like,
it's a game.
It's a game, and like if you're in love with somebody, then what's the point?
Yeah, I don't like playing games.
I don't like playing games. If you're in love with somebody, what's the point? If you're into somebody, what's the point in making it hard? Where it's like life already is hard. I'm just trying to find somebody to share this ride with. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you're not about it, then I don't care. Like I saw this trend or like this TikTok that got really, really famous, and it was like this guy where he was like, yo, if a girl picks someone over me, like I'm not fighting for her. No, yeah. If she's deciding between me and him, I'm going to say go him.
I'm not going to be second best to nobody.
I'm not going to be second best to nobody, and if you have to pick, then pick the other person. I'm not going to fight for you. I'm not going to fight for love.
Yeah, and like that sounds bad, but I know what you're saying. Like I'm not gonna fight for you, but I know what you're saying. You know, and I just wanted to help clarify. You know,
I'm not gonna fight for your validation.
There you go.
Like I don't need it. It's one of those things where it's like you're into me and you want to share this world with, like this experience of life with me. Let's roll.
So it's like I was watching the show Yellowstone. I was telling you about.
Right.
And there's one of the seasons. There's this girl. Is with one of the guys, the handlers, and he has to leave because the ranch head said you have to go here, and she's like, if you go, I'm not gonna stay and wait for you, and he's just like, like, I have to, you know? So he
Mhm.
goes, and when he's out there for a year or whatever, he finds a girl that really likes him for him. And then they send him back, and he goes there, and he's like, I have to leave, you know? And she's
Right.
like, if you want me to wait for you, just tell me, and I will. And then she ends up going back with him.
Mm.
So, like, she makes adjustments for the situation he's in because he's bound by, like, money or something like that. He has to go back,
Right.
you know? And then, like, when she goes back with them, the other girl's still there waiting for him. And she's like, what the fuck, who's this, you know? Anyways, long story short, she tells him, well, why didn't you fight for me? And
Mm.
he's like, you left me. You're the one that told me it's over if I leave. And I had to leave. I told you. Like, it was, she was playing a game,
Right.
playing hard to get. And it's like, don't play that. Let it be known. You want to be with me? Say that. You want to
Right.
go with me? Let's go.
Right.
Like, this is the situation I'm in. Like, I can't say, nah, I'm not going to go. Like, this dude paid all my medical bills. He got me out of, like, trouble. Like, I owe him. I
Right.
have to go. Why don't you go with me? But no, you sat there and said, if you don't listen to me, we're done.
Right.
And then be pissed off that you found someone new, and then come back and be like, well, why didn't you fight for me? Bitch, you broke up with me. Like,
Yeah.
they're playing that game.
Yeah.
You know, and if you really love someone, and now you're all brokenhearted, if you really love someone, let it be known. Say
Right.
it. You know, like, don't say, why didn't you fight for me when I was playing hard to get? Like, you're the one
Right.
that dumped me.
Yeah. I'm looking for the one, not the two.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for the two to make a decision. Like, you know, it's like I'm looking for the one. If you're not looking for the one, then we're just not meant to.
And if you're giving me ultimatums and shit, like, you're already trying to boss me around, and that's not what a relationship is about.
Right.
It's about compromise. It's about meeting in the middle.
Mhm.
You know, it's never going to be his way or her way. It's going to be your way together.
Right.
You know, and that's where people get confused. Like, well, I'm stuck in my ways. Okay, cool. You're stuck in your ways as a single man. And, well, I'm stuck in my ways. You're stuck in your ways as a single woman. In order for it to work, you have to compromise. You have to give your 50% and her 50% to make it 100%. It can't be 75-25 because there's always going to be that animosity. There's always going to be that anger, like, oh, you made me do this or you made me do that when I didn't
Right.
want to. The biggest thing I could ever give anybody kind of advice for me being with the same woman for 19 years is you have to compromise. You have to meet in the middle. There's
Right.
a lot of times where I didn't do what I wanted to do, and I had to compromise and meet in the middle. And there's a lot of times your mom didn't get what she wanted, and we met in the middle.
Right.
And that's why it worked.
Right.
You know, and that's compromise the biggest thing in any relationship.
Oh, for sure. Sacrifice is big. And I heard this one thing. Somebody, I was with a friend of mine. I forget his name. I apologize to whoever this is. They're not listening to the podcast. But like they had said something that ringed with me. He was like, talking about, like, you know, people always say, like, what do you value most in the relationship? Like, what would make or break a relationship? Like, what's number one? Like, is it honesty? Is it affection? Like, what is it? And he was like, everybody says communication. That's the go-to for everybody. Oh, what's a undoubtedly, like, what is one thing that relies on a relationship? He's like, oh, everybody's like, communication. There needs to be really good communication. That's number one. Like, there's no way. Like, if you guys can't communicate, then, like, it's just a stalemate. And he was like, I got a response to that. I have a better answer. I think that without understanding, communication is useless.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, yeah.
He was like, understanding is number one.
Because arguing is a form of communication.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're going to get the answer you want. Just because you're communicating doesn't mean you're going to get an answer.
Right. If I'm bitching at you, I'm like, oh, you know, you're fucking wrong, dude. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you're like, no, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And we're not understanding each other. We're not trying to understand each other.
Yeah.
That conversation is going nowhere.
Yeah.
And so, just like in a relationship, if there's no understanding of circumstance, of decisions, or whatever, and you guys can't communicate, like, civilly as individuals, like, respectfully, then what does communication matter?
Yep.
It has to be, like...
Agreed.
Like, with Phineas and Claudia. Like, take them as an example. Those two are a great blueprint for how a relationship should go. Because they're like, we, like, don't argue. We disagree. And if we can't understand each other or come into an agreement, we're like, all right, agree to disagree. We'll move on. And he's like, it's like, arguing is mostly for shit that, like, isn't really important. Like, obviously there's, like, arguments for shit that's important. Well, I mean, for you, it's different because you're literally in, like, a 19-year fucking relationship, so any argument or anything's gonna be important. But like, at the beginning, it's like most of the time it's fucking unimportant. It's like, oh, you're not spending enough time with me, fucking shit like that, where it's just like insignificant and stupid.
We have our dumb arguments too. Like, I get mad at your mom and your sister because she helps with laundry. When, like, I hate when I'm looking for a shirt and all my shirts are hung up and they're inside out.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know what shirt it is.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm stretching the fucking neck
right.
to figure, like, why can't you just fucking put it on the hanger right?
Right.
And that way when I'm going through, I'm like, yes, that's the shirt I want.
Right.
They're always inside out and it fucking irks me.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think, I think that's advice I give to somebody like that.
So, let's see. We got compromise.
Right.
We have understanding. Loyalty, obviously, I think that's a given.
Yeah.
No relationship's gonna work when someone's not loyal to the other.
It's not love if you're cheating.
Yeah.
It's not. If you claim you love somebody and then you cheat on them, and then you still kind of say that you still love them, your understanding of love is just flawed.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like it's either you're lying, or your understanding of love is just like not real.
Yeah.
Like it's just like not there. You know what I mean? Like cheating is like when people get cheated on, they're heartbroken obviously because they loved the person. But they always say like, "Oh, everything was a lie." But what they're realizing in that moment is not that the relationship was a lie. They just never loved them in the first place. And that's what's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
When somebody gets cheated on. They're like, "Damn. Like maybe he felt love for me, but this wasn't love in the first place." And that's what fucking sucks.
Because they did that.
Because they did that. Because nobody that loves each other would do that.
Yeah.
If you don't love somebody, if you have love for somebody, but you just don't envision yourself being with them romantically, you break up with them.
Yep.
That's it. I feel like cheating is one of the dumbest things and the most useless shits ever. It's so stupid. Where it's like, okay, you guys are arguing, you don't get along. Break up with them. Break up with them.
Yeah.
What's the point? You're adding extra trauma and adding extra stress and extra fucking sadness for nothing. Like, they could deal with just you being like, hey, like, we gave it my all. I'm just unhappy in the relationship. Still have a lot of love for you. I just don't think that me and you are meant to be. I don't think we mesh well. I think there's somebody out there better for you. I think there's someone out there better for me. And so I think it's in our best interest to move on.
Yeah. And it's like that saying, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, it was meant. If it doesn't, it never was meant.
Yeah.
Sometimes
exactly.
you have to let that go to see if it really was true love. If you really miss them that much and you're like, okay, I just made the wrong decision. Let's get back together.
Right. But with cheating, there's no going back.
No.
There's no going back from that.
So let's switch gears here a little bit. Valentine's Day gifts. You have your traditional roses and chocolate.
Right.
Do you stick to that? Or is it... Then they have the thing where... I think that's anniversaries. It's anniversaries. But I guess you could do it for Valentine's Day too, where every year it's a different thing. Like, year one is paper, so you have to give some type of gift made out of paper, diamonds, metal, gold, or whatever like that,
I'll say this right now. I think flowers suck.
Yeah.
I think flowers suck. I think they look pretty and it's the cutest. It's stereotypical. And obviously, more than likely, I will buy a girl flowers at some point.
I think it's the women like it.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the way they make them feel.
Right. The smell, the way they look, right? I get it. But let me say this. I'm going to buy a girl flowers. But I think that stereotype sucks. And I'll tell you why. You're giving them something that they're going to have to take care of.
Well, if... I was going to say something different.
What?
I was going to say, well, if you have a really good Valentine's Day, you guys do the nitty gritty, you're going to give them something to take care of too for the next 18 years. You know what I mean? Like, hey, here's some... what
are you trying to say, Dad?
You got to take care of this for the next 18 years.
What are you trying to say? Why'd you say 18 years specifically? You could have said 21 for the sake of the story. But like, you're giving them something to take care of, like, I'll give them flowers. I'll give a girl flowers at some point.
Really, it's just one time. You put them in a thing, put the water, and you don't fuck with it no more.
Yeah, I guess. But like, I just like chocolates like a fucking stuffed animal. Yeah. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. And then, you try and do sentimental things. Like I think it was last year, or the year before, when I got your mom the book.
Yeah.
You know, the Book of Us. It's the cartoon book of how I feel about her and all that
That
stuff.
was a great gift.
Yeah, and then this year I'm hoping I top it. We can't talk about it yet, but I hope I topped with the new.
I'm so excited to talk about that.
Yeah, I just don't want anybody to hear.
But anyways,
and then like so Valentine's is about love, but like we've always celebrated Valentine's as a family. We've always given you guys gifts,
right?
Because we love you guys. So I think it's more about love than relationship sometimes.
Yeah,
the way you see it. You know what I also think is very weird is how we have Valentine's Day, which is about love, but then you have the St. Valentine's Day massacre where all those people were fucking killed in the mobster thing.
Man. Yeah.
I think it was Al Capone or something like that, and he went rival gang fucking in a line fucking.
Dude, I started watching this like TikTok page, and this is short. I just want to bring this up real quick. I watch these guys, and they literally cover different serial killer stories. People are fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, did you hear about this one guy? I forget his name, but he was literally a serial killer. He had a family. He had a wife and kids. He had a loving family. He was happy, but he just got fucking bored one day and just started going on killing sprees. And his family didn't know about it. He went on killing sprees, and he, like, would just go and fucking kill somebody and tie them up and, like, just chop them apart and whatnot and just destroy them, right? And the police, this was so back in the day that the police sucked really bad and they couldn't figure out who it was. And just one day, somebody that was a fraud, I think it was like an abbreviation, like his serial killer name was like an abbreviation.
BTK?
Yeah, BTK, I think it was him. And he was like, somebody came out and they're like, I did all this, I'm BTK. And they like killed somebody or like they did something stupid or whatever. And he came out and he was like, fuck that. No, this kid ain't fucking BTK. I'm BTK. You motherfuckers didn't catch me. Let me tell you how I got away with it. And let me tell you how I got under your guys' fucking noses.
Yeah.
I'm the BTK. I don't know who this little fraud is, but I'm the real one.
Crazy ass. Like Ted Bundy, dude, was married. His wife didn't even know.
Yep. Nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Nuts. It really shows that, like, it gives you trust issues. You're like, who the fuck can I trust?
Yeah.
Anyways, back to what we were talking about. We never finished because you were talking about like what my taste in women are.
Mm-hmm.
Big smile guy, and I realized recently that like I don't have a preference in race. Like I know that should be like everybody's like I know everybody's like, oh, so you're saying you're not racist? That's not what I'm getting at. People have their taste. Some guys are strictly into black girls. There's guys that are strictly into white girls. There's guys who are strictly into Hispanics. I'm strictly everything. I don't like if like obviously there's details that I'd want, but I don't think there's a race and a pigment of skin that turns me off.
Yeah.
Like there are black girls that I was like, oh, I'd wife that up. That girl's fucking beautiful. There are fucking Hispanic girls, same shit.
So if aliens come, there's this freaking hot alien, but she's green, like Gamora.
Dude, Gamora's hot. Gamora's hot, but also then again, it is just Zoe Saldana.
You got Mantis, or fucking antennas.
Yeah. Dude, dating an alien would be sick.
This is totally off the thing, but off on aliens and kind of like sexual. Do you ever see, you know how they had the scary movie ones where they're making fun of movies?
Yeah.
Did you see, I think it was part 3 when they're making fun of signs?
I might have.
And the aliens were like, the aliens were talking to the guy and they kept putting their finger in his mouth. And he's like, what are you doing?
Oh, I remember
and
that,
he's like, oh, this is how we greet each other. And he's like, oh, okay. So he's like letting him put his finger on his mouth and shit. And then later on, he catches them peeing out of it. So the alien was sticking his wiener because the finger was his wiener. So he's like, oh, this is how the alien was like, this is how we say hi to each other. And he's just like, and the guy's like, oh, what the fuck? And then later on, he sees him peeing out of it. And he's like, you motherfucker, you're putting your dick in my mouth.
That shit is fucking funny, dude. But no, we were talking about the differences in like the generations. Like, I think it's crazy, and it's kind of cool now that we can like get away with dating people that don't live in the same state as us. Well, I mean, I'm speaking from a privileged standpoint with a family that could easily fly me out to anywhere that I want to go. Right?
Yeah.
Like, if I want to see a girl in fucking New York, I could probably just fly out every once in a while. You know? Like,
yeah,
we could probably get away with that.
But
like, it's crazy that that's an option now, though, is what I'm trying to say.
But it won't be for long because it might last that way. But like I said, once you meet them, you start to miss them, and you're like,
Right.
every 3 months is not enough
Right.
because I truly love that person and I love being around them, and now I have to wait.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean? Like it's fine at the beginning, and then it gets really really hard, and you have to do what you have to do to make sure you're with that person all the time.
Right. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, just the idea of it though is kind of fucking sick. Like, I hear stories of people, they're like, oh, we dated online, we talked online, we met every once in a while, and then we moved in together, and we have a family and raised all these kids. Like, the fact that you could do that now with the internet and everything, that's kind of fucking dope.
Yeah.
That's kind of sick. Like, that's kind of fire. You know what I mean? Like,
But I kind of feel like you have to be around people more to get their, so you can learn what their quirks are.
right.
'Cause
Right.
you may not know that, like, because you only talk to them on even if it's Zoom or FaceTime, but then when you actually live with them, you realize like they love to pick the cheese out of their nails and shit, and you're just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, like I
Yeah.
hate that you do that.
Right.
You don't see that stuff until you're living with them all the time. Like with your mom, until I started living with her, it irks me, and 19 years I've lived with it. Her restless leg syndrome,
Oh, I have bad restless legs.
and I'm like trying to sleep, and all I hear is of her feet, and you're just like, can you stop fucking moving?
Right.
Like I'm trying to sleep. I have to wake up at 2 a.m. for work, and you're just, I'm sorry, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I rub my legs together and shit. Like, I have that bad too.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's like a what's the best way to do that? Just
Or your mom is super cold all the time, and I'm always hot. Like my skin's always really hot, so she loves to touch me when I'm sleeping so she can warm up because she goes to bed later than me. So I'll be in a dead sleep, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, and you get some fucking cold ass feet on your leg, or a fucking cold ass hand on your back because she's just trying to like get my body heat. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get warm. Well, I'm just trying to sleep. You know, like fuck.
cold shit. But yeah, no, that makes sense. That's why I'm always somebody that like kind of like or now in particular, I'm more of like we could talk and we could like know that we're gonna be together at some point, but like let's wait for sure. Like let's meet up first.
Yeah.
Before we officialize it.
I just want to add one comment to what you're saying about like color, like you don't care.
Right.
Like they say, love has no color.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the point, because what your heart tells you and how you feel about someone is not about the look.
Right.
Their skin color. It is about their look, because the first thing is the physical attraction.
Yes.
You know, it's not about their skin color. It's about your attraction to that person.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter their skin color. You
Yeah,
know, you guys are not the same race. I'm pure Mexican, but
Right.
you guys are half. You know, because I married out of my race, so it's not about color. It's about that connection with that person.
Right.
You know,
It sucks the cultures that like have to date their. You know, they're like enclosed in their race. Like they could only date one type.
Mom, dad wanted her to marry someone
That was white.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, like he had a friend who had a son that was, I think, white and what's the Syrian, like he is. Like he is. So like he wanted them to be together.
That ideology is really cringe.
Yeah.
To me. Yeah. It's really cringe.
But my sexy ass swooped in and took care of it.
Took care of the biz.
Yeah. Now you guys are here.
Yeah, let's go, dude. Hell yeah. 18 years strong. Still no Valentine's yet. Fuck you guys. Alright, whatever, dude. You know? It is what it is, but like, fuck you guys. Your loss.
Love will happen when it needs to happen. It's like what I say with work and finding jobs. God's gonna put me where I need to be when I need to be there.
Yeah.
And even though it's something I want, it doesn't mean it's right now.
Right.
You know, so it may be something you want, but it's just not in the cards right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? But when it happens, it's gonna happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And even heartache happens for a reason. Like you hate it in that moment, but it's a lesson. It teaches you something.
Right.
You know, about yourself, about other people, how people could hurt you and manipulate you and lie to you. And then it kind of teaches you like, okay, well, I know that can happen now from this. So
Right.
it does put up a guard, and you don't want to have a guard up, but it it's like a defense mechanism, I guess.
Yeah,
You
it
know?
like protects
Teaches
you
you
from the
stuff.
shit that you need to be protected.
From like we said earlier, it's a crazy world, man.
Oh yeah, for
There's
sure.
crazy people out there. Society's crazy. There's left side, right side. There's fucking all this crazy shit, dude.
People getting passionate about shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, like people get like, you know, passionate about politics, obviously, and that's a good reason to be passionate about, obviously, because those are decisions that are being made that is affecting everybody. So that makes sense. But there's like people that are passionate about skin color and whether or not a guy is gay, whether or not a person wants to be called they them. It's just kind of like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
When it's
If
the
they're
shit
not
that's not
impacting your life, don't worry about it.
yeah, and it's like, you know what my favorite thing, you know what one of my favorite, not my favorite thing, like I'm not saying like it makes me happy, obviously, but it makes me, you know what makes me fucking laugh, are the guys who are so fucking homophobic that they're like, you know, I'm cool with the gay guys, but like don't bring that shit around me. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So like, do you think that gay guys, like it doesn't matter what they like, they're gay, so that means they're just gonna like fucking get up on you and shit? Like you like, oh, like don't bring that shit around me though. Like don't be gay with me. It's like, no, don't think there's a gay guy that's just gonna want to hit on a bunch of guys. Like it's just like everybody else. Like you think this guy's gonna want to fucking kiss you? Like you think this guy's gonna be like, hey, daddy? You know, you're just like, what the fuck? Like that's not happening.
I feel like you were impersonating a New Yorker
Yeah.
from New Jersey or something.
Yeah, they got a lot of guys like that. You know, they got a lot of guys. You know, don't bring that gay shit around me. You know, it's just like, what do you think that they're gonna do when you're with them in person?
They're afraid and they don't want to admit it.
Yeah, they don't.
You know,
Yeah,
they're afraid of change. They're afraid about what other people. You know, I have gay relatives, and I've had their friends around me, and I used to kind of like take the compliment. They used to be like, "Man, I love your eyebrows." Like
yeah,
that, because I have like, they would be like, "Hey, do you pluck them?" I'm like, "No, that's just natural the way they
right,
are."
right.
And they'd be like, "Man, I love your eyebrows. Your eyebrows are awesome." And then I was never like, "Oh my god," you know what I mean? It was like, "Oh, thanks," you know. And I kind of was like,
Yeah,
you know, hey, I'm fucking hot on both sides of the fucking
yeah.
spectrum, man. I'm fucking, you know.
Yeah, when like a guy would compliment me or whatever, and like I knew he was gay, I was just like, yeah, at least I'm killing it in the gay community. You know,
Yeah,
like, I'm
on
not
Halloween
gay.
when that guy said you were thick, you know.
Yeah, I was like, it's unfortunate that I'm not gay because maybe I wouldn't be fucking single right now. But like, yeah, at least I'm killing it in that region, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. I forget what we were talking about, but like, I like to play dumb on my knowledge a lot. You know, I think it's like I don't want to be the know-it-all. Like, oh, I know. Oh yeah, no, I know what you're saying. You know, like I'm not that type of person. Like when somebody, like especially when it came to like content and streaming and like the entertainment on like internet entertainment, like that I'm really good at and really familiar with. There would be a lot of people that are like, all right, so like, you know, they come in, they're like, hey man, you know, you got a lot of potential. You just need to do this, you need to do that. I'm like, oh yeah, for sure, man. Like I'm already doing those things. When like before I could just be like, if I were being honest, I'd just be like, hey man, like I've been in this longer than you. Like the amount of guys that like try to talk to me like I didn't know only because they were older than me is fucking insane. But like I let them suck, cause I'm like, oh, okay, you know, let them talk about it, give advice, make them feel good. But it's like I know.
Yeah.
I know more than you when it comes to this, so like it's okay. Like,
but you don't want to hurt their feelings.
I don't want to hurt their
feelings. They're trying to help.
Right.
The intention is good.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like that with dating. So like I like play dumb. This is a very embarrassing story, but it's fucking hilarious. So last year, or I think the year before last year, I was talking to this girl from New York, and we got along. We hit it off really well. We got along. Like we made each other laugh. We would send each other voice messages or whatever. You know, the girl had a cute voice. We got along really, really well. You know, we connected on video games, we connected on movies, this, that, and the other. We're like, oh, you know, like, damn, like, she's really cool. Like, I really fuck with this girl, you know what I'm saying? And I obviously knew what she looked like, but I was like, hey, you know, we met on this app, and I was like, hey, can I get your Instagram? Like, you know, so I could get it's easier and more accessible on Instagram. I went on it. When I tell you that this girl is the most gorgeous human being that I've literally ever fucking seen. She was a smoking hot Middle Eastern girl. She was fucking beautiful. And I instantly was like, yo, you got to see this girl that I'm talking to, Lizzie. And I showed Lizzie, and she was like, that girl's talking to you? And I'm like, yeah. Long story short, I found out, because this was when I was like 16, 17. This girl was like 15, I think. 15, 16, whatever. And she drank alcohol. Like, she would party or whatever. Like, not like party hard, but like she would like be in her Instagram story, like drinking out of like a fucking like vodka bottle and shit. And then she was like she was addicted to nicotine. She would smoke a lot, like the vapes and whatnot. And I was like, ah.
Yeah, I'm not a big smoke fan.
Not a big fan of that. So I was like, so this girl hit on me or whatever, and she wanted to make like to be a thing, and like try to make a long distance work. And I was like, like, I just don't think that, like, I'm not really into, the drinking thing, and especially with my kidney disease, and especially since you're so young, and just the fact that you're hurting your body at such a young age is just not really attractive to me.
Yeah.
I was like, it maybe in the future, if you move on from those things, or you're willing to give those things up, maybe, and if maybe you move closer, like, I'd be interested, but like, respectfully not. This girl, she obviously, I'll say that later, actually. But she, this girl, I ended up being right. In that time, she was really immature. She said some shit that like about Lizzie that wasn't really nice, and she just got really bitchy, and like she would say shit to try to make me jealous because she didn't want to accept rejection or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, I dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Right? And then, I played dumb, and I'm like, damn, did I really fumble? Like, did I fuck that one up? Like, should I have just dealt with it? And Isaiah, and I showed Isaiah and all my friends what she looked like, and they were like, so you're saying that she was vegan? She had a very cute voice and a cute laugh. She has a fucking perfect personality. You get along with her really well. You connect with her on all fronts. And you friend zoned her because she drank and smoked. Like, it makes sense, man. I get it, but like, maybe you should have just taken the drinking and smoking, man. And they were like, dude, I don't know, man. They were like, you fumbled. And it became like an inside joke. They're like, you didn't fumble, but like, we like to say you fumbled because she was fucking picture perfect outside of the fact that she drank and smoked.
Well,
and
smoking
then,
ages you nasty.
Yeah. And then Lizzie, so a month ago, in December, me and Lizzie were reminiscing on it, and Lizzie was just like, sometimes I just stalk her profile because how fucking beautiful she was. And I was just like, yeah, I think about her every once in a while. I'm just like, damn, like, imagine I would have brought that home. And and Lizzie was like, dude, if you would have brought her home one day, like, she flew out to California, you would have brought her home. You'd be like, hey, I'm having a girl, and we had dinner with her. Like, everybody in the room would just, like, their jaws would be dropped. They'd be like, Xander pulled that? They're like, Xander made that happen? They're like, if you, like, pulled that home, like, you would be a fucking hero to this household. And I was like, I know. She was like,
you gotta think like me. I'd be like, nah, she pulled me.
Yeah. Anyways, we were talking about it. We were reminiscing. She was like, dude, she was fucking beautiful. She was perfect outside of the fact that she drank and smoked. And maybe she was a little immature because she was young. A day or two after that conversation I have with Lizzie, she hits me up. She's like, hey, it's been a while since we've spoke. We cut each other off because there were some things that we said, and I just want to let you know that I was like, obviously I was 15, I was really immature, but like I just want to apologize to you and Lizzie for the things that I said and things that I did. It wasn't right. You were an amazing person, and I was really into you, and I fucked that one up, and I'm really sorry. I was just thinking about you or whatever. And I was like, oh, whatever, like, it's cool, like, that's fine, like, we could be friends again or whatever, like, I'm cool with that, like, we could talk, if you need me for anything, like, I'm the go-to guy for everybody when it comes to giving advice or whatever, like, you could come to me for anything. And she's like, yeah, I've grown a lot since then, I've learned a lot, and I just never stopped thinking about you. Like, I have a boyfriend now, but like, I was going
for him.
Yeah, I got a boyfriend now, but they're not together anymore.
I know, but to be with somebody and they're like saying, I always think about you. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
She didn't say that specifically, but she like implied like, like, I think about you every once in a while, and it was just like, okay. But like, they're not together anymore. But so here, But but anyways, she was like, whatever, I think you were such a good friend to me, and you treated me really well. You were really respectful, this, that, and the other. So I talked to her every other day, if not every day, and it's so funny that like I like to play dumb about that. Like I know that I kind of like in that moment like it was the best decision to make.
Yeah.
Like I know that, but I like to make fun of myself sometimes and like have some like self-deprecating humor and be like, oh, I fucked it up. Like I fumbled like the most gorgeous human being that was way out of my league. Like this, that, and the other.
But what's good though is that even at a young age, you stuck to your guns, you stuck to your beliefs, and you stuck to what you believe in. So that shows more of how strong your character is.
Right. Right.
It wasn't about like being shallow and worrying about the looks.
Right.
You know, you had more value to yourself, and who you want as a partner. Like with your kidney disease, you don't want to be like going out on a date and this chick's sitting here getting plastered, and you're just like,
Yeah.
So it's good on you for being able to make that decision.
Yeah, make that call. She's better now, obviously. Yeah. She's cut down a lot. Very proud of her. She's a great person, but like. I just thought that was really funny, especially when I was like, Lizzie, like, if she ever hit me back up, I'm answering that phone. Like, if she ever hit me back up, like, I wouldn't.
Hello.
I wouldn't fucking. I was like, I wouldn't fucking hesitate. 3 days later, hey, I saw this video and I thought about you.
It's crazy.
And I was like, here you go. I'm that guy.
Hey.
I don't know what it is, man. You know what? I'm gonna say this right now. For Valentine's Day, I fucking love my family. Yeah. I am fucking blessed with my genes. Because I had 2 girls that were my type, fucking perfect, gorgeous, amazing human beings that lashed out at me and cut me off, and they just kept coming back. They always come back with me. I don't know what it is.
Well, it could be, too, that, like we were talking about earlier, the games,
Yeah.
Maybe they're testing their limits with you, and once they realize, like, he ain't budging, he's true to who he is.
Right.
Maybe I need to stop fucking around.
My theory was always just like, I'm a Vasquez, and I got it going, and they just realize that they just keep making mistakes, and they want to come back to because they knew they made a mistake, and so here they are. Here we are.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah. So I just thought it was a funny story because I know you bring up stories about like, I forget that one story you talked about. You brought up like a story about like a girl you had talked to before mom or something, and so I was like, I gotta throw something embarrassing out there. I gotta throw something like on the table with my romance life.
You want to hear another funny one? So yeah. I always had this thing where I've never been dumped by a girl, never. And I remember I was dating this chick, and my buddy was dating her friend. Oh wow. And I had gotten word that at lunch she was gonna break up with me, and I was like, "Fuck!" This is my stupid thinking in high school. I'm like, the streak is over. Like I'm gonna there's no fucking way I'm gonna get dumped.
Right.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
So I see her at lunch, and we're walking towards each other, and she's like, "Hey, we need to talk." I was like, "Wait, before you say anything, I just want to say I really don't think it's working, and I think you're a cool person. And I just want to end on good terms, like." And she was like, "What?" Like, she was so offended.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I got to get to class. I've been thinking about it all day. And I feel like it'd be better if we just be friends. And I dumped her and I walked away and I was just like, fuck yes. Still never been dumped, baby. Still never been dumped.
Undefeated.
Undefeated. And it's funny because, like, we still were cool. And, like, maybe a year later, we talked about it, and she was like, "Yeah, I was gonna break up with you." I was like, "Oh, really?" Like,
damn, I had no clue. What is
crazy? Chances? But for a second, I was thinking, what if I got false information and I just fucked that up?
Oh, shit.
So like that she validated later. I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah,
let's go." Yeah,
kept the streak alive, baby. Oh yeah, you don't dump a Vasquez. A Vasquez dumps you.
That's fucking hilarious, dude. But I don't know, man. We talked about it earlier. Like, Vasquez's have, like, some charisma, dude. I don't know what it is, but, like, every girl that I've spoken to, like, I'm not going to sit here and be ignorant. Like, not every fucking girl. But, like, I had 5 girls last year confess feelings for me.
You know what it is? I think it's because we have all the traits that a girl wants. Like you said that sometimes we look unapproachable, we look mean, or we have that bad boy look. I guess I'm not trying to blow smoke up my own ass here. I'm just
Right.
saying, like people always say that I look mean or I'm in a bad mood or something. So like you get that bad boy vibe, but then when
Right.
you get to know us, you have where our charisma comes out. We're funny. We
Right.
like to have fun. We're outgoing. Like we're good. We have big hearts. Like when we care, we care. We're very loyal people.
Right.
So like we carry all the traits that someone wants. So when they get to know us, they're just like, man,
Yeah.
they're perfect.
Right. And it's
If they
like,
would just be 6 foot tall,
God, if only he was not fucking
then he'd be
gardening
perfect.
gnome,
He'd be
dude.
perfect if he was 6 foot.
Yeah. If not, if only that if he didn't stand on my lawn, people would think you were a gardening gnome.
Yeah.
If only, you know.
Fucking Pedro the lawnman.
If only that like he just couldn't fit in my backpack. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, you know. If only he wasn't fun sized, you know. But like, yeah, I think I don't know what it is, dude. I don't know what it is, but we fucking Vasquez boys, dude.
Yeah, I love
We
our
know-
bloodline.
our
I love
bloodline.
my last name.
What it is too, though, is it's not just like they see everything that they want, but it's they see everything. Like we have a lot of like what people like what girls need. You know, like I feel like we have good heads on our shoulders. You know, this family, like, and all the men, like we have good heads on our shoulders. Like I don't feel like, I mean, obviously there is some, like I doubt, like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no, there's not a single Vasquez that doesn't just fuck just to fuck, you know, like there's obviously people like that in our family, but like I just feel like more times than none, like we aren't fuck boys.
No.
Like more times than none, like if we are dating a girl, we are in with the intention of like trying to make it work.
Yeah.
It's not just like a hit and run.
No.
Like for most of us. So yeah, I don't know. God bless the fucking family I was born into, because I don't know what it is, but it's fucking in my DNA.
Oh yeah. So I will say we talked about earlier about Valentine's Day is for everybody. It's not only about relationships, about love. That's why I always make sure I give you guys gifts on Valentine's. So if you don't have a Valentine's, I know I was joking at the beginning. Go buy your mom some flowers.
Right.
Go buy your sister a gift. Valentine's is just to show your love and appreciation for people that love you and that you love. Go grab your dad something. Go grab him some tools, or
Right.
show your family that you love them on this day. It's not only about relationships. So
Right.
hook up mom, hook up dad, hook up your brother, your sister with a gift. Just let them know how you feel. Nobody's promised tomorrow, so this is a great opportunity to tell them you love them. So
Yeah,
go out
for
there and
sure.
do it.
Especially in this time, dude, like we've had so many different shootings and like so many different like school shootings and the Vegas shooting, just some shit that we see on our news channels that we like never forget. Like I will never forget watching the news and just seeing this dude walk back from a fucking arena where he was literally just enjoying time with his friends and family at a concert. And he's just like, I there was a lot of people I tried to save and some of them died, and like just to like see that shit and watching it, it's fucking heartbreaking, dude. Like you truly, with the school shootings, with fucking concert shootings and concert bombings, like you never know when somebody that you love is just gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Like people don't realize that there are individuals on this earth that have so much power. We all have so much power with not just our lives but everybody else's, and how easily somebody could just be like, you know what, I'm gonna go to school tomorrow, I'm gonna fucking kill everybody. You have no idea like what could happen. You could wake up one day and spend the rest of the day and you're like, oh, did they get back from school yet? Oh.
Yeah. Or you could somebody could make a bad decision and drink and drive, and you're just driving to work and you're on the wrong freeway at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And you don't have that family member no more.
You
could slip in the shower.
Right.
Something random.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
You never know.
Tomorrow's not promised. The next minute isn't either.
We're not just saying morbid shit just to say morbid shit. The moral of the story is that holidays are special because those are the times of the year where you could really like not take your family for granted, and that the one like time period where you're not complacent. Because every once in a while I wake up and I'm every day I'm like, oh, it's my sister, whatever. Like I don't even think about it. But then there's some days like on Valentine's or on Christmas, where I was like, damn, like my sister's my best fucking friend.
Yeah.
You know, where you really think about it. So what we're saying is like, spend these holidays and these times and in Valentine's alone to appreciate your family, appreciate the people that you love.
Yep.
And I get it if you're fucking butthurt because you wanted you're not in love or whatever. I know love is just such a big thing in this world. Human beings are very codependent on affection. So I get it sucks, but I think that there's so many people that are just like, oh, no Valentine's, spending it alone this year. It's like you don't have to. Like you have family.
There is love out there. It could be a best friend.
Yeah.
Go grab a cup of coffee, something.
Yeah, just don't take just spend these holidays to really just soak in the fact that there's people that love you, that you love, that are currently alive and in your life.
Yep.
Because that shit could be over very quickly.
Hey, I love you.
Love you too, man. We love all the people watching.
We love you guys. Our 20 listeners.
Blast. Yeah, it's been an absolute blast. I think this podcast has been it's been cool, dude.
Yeah.
It's been a really cool thing. I think we
therapeutic.
I think just in this episode alone, me and you learned so much about each other. I think that's something that's really cool. Is me and my dad get to know each other like a little differently.
Never been dumped.
He's never been dumped. He had no clue that his son actually talked to women. So now you know.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, so I think we should close it out now because we're an hour and a half in, and this camera lasts about an hour and a half before it dies. So again, you can find the social Stuck in Elevator podcast on Instagram. You can find him at Eric Vasquez OP7 on Twitter. That's your at, right?
Yeah.
Eric Vasquez OP7 on Twitter. Xander from me on Twitch, Twitter, and on YouTube, but it's Xander MV3 on Instagram. I've been doing a lot of things. My organization, Millennium 7, just kickstarted their 4th challenge that I'm partaking in. It's me versus my good friend Rosie. I'm going to whoop her ass. It's my team versus her team. Teams got drawn at random, and we're going to beat the shit out of them in competition, so that should be a blast. So look out for that in the next week. It'll be a blast, though. It'll be fun, and I'm looking forward to, meeting some new people that I haven't met that may or may not be my new teammates in the future. So it's going to be a blast. Make sure you go check up on that. And
we should have some guests coming up in the next couple episodes.
Oh, yeah. Well, you already know of one, but we might slip another one in.
Yeah.
You never know.
And then we might have another one that I may be able to jump in with you guys on.
Oh, yeah. So we have like 2 at least guests lined up.
Maybe 3.
Yeah. So look out for that. Stuck in an Elevator. Big things coming. And
send us comments, questions, anything you want us to talk about. Like we always say, throw it out there. Otherwise, we're just going to do our thing and just going to have to watch it.
And congratulations to the Rams. We just got finished watching the Super Bowl. Little butthurt, wanted Cincinnati to win, but can't help but root for Matthew Stafford and especially all the people on the Rams with OBJ and all of them that worked really hard for it. So congrats to the Rams. If you're a Rams fan, good on you. It'd celebrate, I think sports is also another good thing to express, love and quality time through. So for all the people who are Rams fans, I'm glad you got to experience that with your friends or your family because that's really cool. Hopefully the Raiders are next step. Yeah. But again, my dad fist bump. That'll do for the Valentine's episode.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And from the words of someone who's not felt the warmth of a woman's vagina once said, that's that.
So awkward for me.
That's the point.